Hey everybody, welcome back to Pints and Projects. My name is Tyler and I'm your internet buddy for ADHD fueled projects, and today we're talking about VHS. I love VHS. It's something kind of recently I've been kind of getting into collecting. It's one of those, hobbies I start reading a whole bunch about, and I'm like, wow, I could get into that for really cheap. And then I start doing it, and yeah, here we are. But these are three of some of the VHS tapes that I've picked up in the past 6 months, kind of getting into this hobby. It kind of goes hand in hand with my retro gaming kind of setup. Of course, I love old PlayStation stuff. Of course, you'd want to experience those on an old CRT, and I have a retro room that I love to play those kinds of games in because it just feels right. Something about being in a room with mismatched furniture, wood panel, I don't know, something about it just feels right. But also sometimes watching some of these movies kind of feels right on VHS. There's just some charm with picking out a movie, buying it, bringing it home, and watching it. Something about that is just nostalgic to me. I was born in the mid-90s, so, I kind of got to experience the death of VHS, the death of DVD, probably one of the best eras for gaming. There's just so much that, I'm nostalgic for being the age that I am. I'm not old yet. I'm not even 30 yet, so I'm getting there. It's getting closer to the day. VHS collecting is really cheap. I picked up these probably for less than $1. So VHS collecting is something that if you have a CRT TV, if you love to, collect vintage media, sometimes this can go hand in hand. Not to mention, look how cool these the bindings look. I don't know if that's the correct term to use, but yeah, these sides of the tapes they just look so cool. It's like a movie poster, and I just don't think that DVDs had that kind of same wow, when you're looking at the side of them. Now, some people might ask, why watch these? And again, it's about the nostalgia for me. I have a Plex server, it's got over 1,000 movies on it. I have a home theater with big speakers set up, a 100-inch projector. Of course, I could watch Speed, Back to the Future, The Mask of Zorro on an incredible screen and, feel like I'm at a movie theater. Or I can go for a completely different experience and kind of experience what was life like being an adult when I was a kid. Specifically, the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is because I have a surprise for you guys today. This guy. So it's kind of hard to see under this big pile of crap, but underneath all of this stuff is a VCR DVD combo unit. I have no idea if it works. I got it off of the curb. The unique thing about this, though, is that it has an HDMI out. Now, I don't know, I do have a different version of this, but it does not have an HDMI out. So I have no idea whether or not you can actually output your VCR stuff to HDMI. That's what I'm probably most interested about. I do think that it's probably only going to be the DVD side of it, if I were to guess, because as you can see, the DVD side does have component. However, it's only pertaining to the DVD side and not for the DVD VCR. So it's a bit dusty. It looks like crap. Again, I have no idea whether this thing works, but I do have all of the screws. I want to give this thing a shot and see if it works. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead. We'll plug in the power supply here. So this one's actually quite a bit different than the one that I have. The one that I have, the power board and the VCR side are one board, and then the DVD section is separate, just like how this one is. So I don't know exactly what led to these being different in that way. I don't know if one's newer than the other. I would assume that's probably the case. They did make this kind of same model of VCR for a very long time. In fact, pretty much everything that could go wrong with these, there's probably a video on YouTube of somebody fixing one of these. I'll put the screws in it here in a second. Not super worried about it going anywhere. It's kind of folded in there. Turn that on. Well, it's staying on. I think that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and put a tape in it and see if it'll destroy a tape. We're gonna put Ray Stevens Live in there. We're gonna see what happens. Oh God, okay. That's not good. All right, well, now we know why this was thrown away. Okay, this is gonna be a fun repair, I already know it. There's two things that it could be. So the first thing that it could be, so there's this little plastic piece right here. So there's a little LED underneath this that refracts to a sensor that's underneath this little gear here. And the point of this is to detect whether or not that if this gear is in the way. That's pretty much what this does. So this alone can actually cause that issue. So we should pull this out and we should clean it, and that will probably fix our issue. So what we're gonna wanna do is take some isopropyl alcohol, and then we're also gonna wanna take a Q-tip here. You might need a couple Q-tips, just enough to get it damp, you know. So there we go, that should be enough. Send it down in the hole, wipe, wipe, wipe. A little LED there. But all this guy really does is just refracts the light over to the sensor. That's all he does. Okay, so now we place that back down in here. Okay, load her up. And looks like just a repeat. Sorry, tape. I didn't mean to do that to you. I am so sorry. So as I mentioned, there's two things that this could be. So the first that we wanted to do is this little guy here. The next thing is going to be a pain, and the reason being for that is because it's completely buried in this. We'll have to take this entire thing apart in order to get to it. Let's go ahead and start doing that. Make sure that it's unplugged before you start doing all of this stuff, like I always forget to do. We'll have to remove the power board. You'll want to be really careful with these. I know it looked like I was manhandling it earlier. Always, always, always be super careful with power supplies. Always handle them by the sides. You know, you just never know how much voltage could be running through them, especially like when it comes to like old CRTs and stuff like that. Like, they seriously carry enough voltage to kill you. So be very careful when working on exposed power supplies such as this one. Pick it up by the sides. Make sure you don't touch it with your conductive screwdriver. Okay, and there's one little ribbon cable here that we want to disconnect. Oh, there might be some additional screws here on the back, and it appears that there are. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna do this in record time, I just know it. Yeah, we'll do the fan. The fan sounds nice. Let's do the fan. Yeah, we're doing this in record time. This one's got way more screws than the one that I use. Ooh, gross, that looks gross. Oh my God. All right, so we got one more screw down here to remove. Hey, this was manufactured May of 2008. So this is pretty reasonably old. So I think we got all of the main stuff undone. So all that's left to do is remove these main board pieces here. So surprisingly with these, even if you never use the VCR side, there is a chance that you can actually kill this whole unit because of the VCR. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they're built that way, but some of them are like that. This one was not, just because it's got the, you know, it can actually take the tape in, but I've seen ones that had this sensor dirty and they wouldn't turn on at all. They would just turn on and then turn off. So, all right. So now that we have this thing completely apart, we're all the way down. Oh, and I just dropped that. Okay, that's cool. We're actually going to want to remove two screws to actually remove the VCR portion from this board. So there's going to be two screws. We have one here, and then there's gonna be one underneath this ribbon cable, and it's gonna be kind of tricky. Now we can kind of lift this up. We don't wanna lift it all the way, because, you know, of course we have these ribbon cables, but the thing that we're gonna be looking at, let me zoom in here, is this little guy here. So this is what's called a mode switch. This mode switch is like 9 times out of 10 probably going to be our culprit. When these get dirty, you can kind of see it has like little contacts on it that, and it'll spin as all the gears in here are turning, and this can actually stop this whole thing from working. It looks clean, but I assure you when we clean it here in a second, it's not going to be clean. Again, we're going to use our isopropyl alcohol. Now you're going to want to go again, or you know, with the bend, because if you go this way, you're going to ruin the contacts in the switch. So, and you know, of course, use kind of like a higher quality Q-tip, because these kind of suck and they just keep catching on it. But yeah, you just want to clean it. Just be careful. But the one underneath here, you can just kind of slosh around on it. It's not gonna hurt it. Yeah, you're just gonna do that. And you can see how dirty that was. Now putting this back's a little tricky, so you just kind of pop it back into place, and then you're gonna wanna line it up. There's like a little hole, it's kind of hard to show on video. There's a hole literally on the gear where this all lines up with, so you just gotta line it up with that, and we got it. So now we'll flip it over, and now we're ready to put the screws back in. So the machine screws are always gonna go into metal, and these coarse ones typically always go into plastic. So if you ever lose track of where things go, generally that's the rule of thumb to follow. Don't put coarse thread screws in fine thread holes, and vice versa. All right, didn't turn off immediately, so I guess that's a good sign. Okay, let's put in Ray Stevens live and see what happens. Oh, uh-oh. Something ain't lined up right. What's going on? Oh god. Oh, that's not working right. Oh god. Man, something was jammed up. Oh, and it just died. Okay, it stopped. Eject. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Why won't it eject? Well, it's not jammed here. I can't do anything. It won't let me. I don't know if maybe these lights are dirty. Oh, wait. This little LED guy is bent. So basically this kind of works like a garage door kind of. Hey, whoa, that works way better now. All right, stop. Go eject. I don't know about you, but the eject feels, wow, that is way smoother than it was before. Before it was like, nyeh, nyeh. Hey, that's fitting right now. Yeah, is that all sitting right? And the tape. Oh my god, I think it's working. Oh my god, we did it. Wow, I've never had like that happen before, where like one of the little lights got bent. Wow, you can kind of see how like all of this stuff has to work really close together in order for it to work properly. Like these lights, like something so minor can make this whole thing like not work. So you can kind of see how like fixing VCRs can be rewarding but also complicated at the same time. Again, I love doing this all over again. Yes! Dude, this is so great. This is fantastic. How cool. All right, well, let me button this back up here because I still gotta plug this little cable back in, and then I gotta put the top back on, and then I say we take this into the retro room and test it out and see how it works. So I think we're gonna test this with this other little test tape I have, Journey to the Edge of Creation, our solar system. Wow, I have never seen a tape with such large reels in this. I've never actually seen this before. Moody Bible Institute. Surely this will be extremely interesting. That's exactly why I bought it. All right, so we're gonna put this into here. Oh, I might be, hey, there we go. Wow, it's playing really good. Let's find ourselves a DVD. I don't really have a ton of DVDs, but maybe we'll do V for Vendetta, right? Like, I like this movie. It's a really good movie. I picked this up on DVD for $2. So, V for Vendetta, pretty good movie. Interesting. I've never seen a DVD player with a loading bar before. Man, DVD menus were so cool. Like, man, an experience long forgotten. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I'll probably put it in my home theater space because it has this HDMI output. I don't know if it works for that, but maybe it's worth trying. Oh man, what a bummer. Well, that's sad. So could I hypothetically have two pieces of media playing at once? So let's put this in. Because it was still playing on the VCR side of it. There's no way. There's no way that that's still working. Okay, so it's playing over here. So if I switch to, still says it's playing. So if we switch, we should see something on video 1 or video 2 here. Well, there appears to be some feedback now. Hey everybody, so I don't know what happened, but the last bit of my recording got corrupted, but I figured I'd wrap up the video in this way. Obviously, we found out that we could indeed play 2 pieces of content, one on the HDMI side through the DVD player, and then one through the VCR. Now, I don't know what the utility of playing a VHS tape and a DVD at the same time would be, but I guess it's pretty cool that you can just do it. Now, the tape did have some weird audio interference, and I don't know if that has something to do with like the DVD all of a sudden, because it definitely wasn't like that the first time I played it, and I even played the tape afterwards and it was gone. I can't explain why it's that way, but it is. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this VCR at the moment. I'll probably put it in my home theater for my projector when I want to show those like weird shovelware type tapes that you can get. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to save this VCR with you guys, and I can't wait to see what we get into next time.